Sean, I've always been fascinated with how different studios work when you're making a movie. You did a film with Disney years ago, Darby O'Gill and the Little People. I'm just wondering, did you have any interactions with Mr. Disney back then, and how was Disney to work for?
Well, I did. In fact, the film opened in Ireland, and we were there, and we all went to the races together, because it's a very Irish story. And in fact, it was very strange to go back to the studios at Disney, not because of this film, but because I happened to have a deal with them, and look around the place. Because when I went there, I don't know, it must be 38 years ago now, there was a place called the Nunnery, where there were women making all the pen drawings, and no men were allowed in there. But I found him absolutely charming.
To be recognized, I'm sure you're very used to that. As an actor, to be recognized in a restroom, how awkward is that? And do you ever find people suddenly wanting to make conversation in the restroom?
Well, funny enough, I was in the restaurant, I was having dinner with Michael Caine and his wife, and Donald Sutherland and his wife, and myself and my wife. And we're in, I can't remember which one, I think it was one of Spago's. And I went to the toilet and suddenly got trapped in there with two guys who wanted me to take pictures with them. And it almost ended in a fight to get out of the place. And needless to say, one was a bit upset. And they couldn't understand why I was upset.
Going back to the mid-'60s, at the height of all the James Bond hoopla, when you were assessing your career at that time, did you envision that you would be such a major movie star as you entered your 60s?
No, and I didn't think the James Bond films would be around in the 90s either. It's even more unpredictable business than commerce, I think, or the stock exchange, the film business. And but my feeling has always been that if suddenly one dropped off the perch, or it didn't happen, or whatever, then I would always find somewhere to go and something to do.
Now, I have a question, and I asked this as a person who has lost quite a bit of my hair. I freaked out when I started to lose my hair, and someone sat me down and said, "Mark, there's nothing wrong with losing your hair. Look at Sean Connery, how confident he is with his hair." I'm just wondering, when you started to lose your hair, did it bother you, and did you ever...
Of course, it's the most natural thing in the world. I mean, you think that you can't believe it. My hair started to go, well, I don't know how old you are. You're probably about 38?
37, yeah. Very, very good.
Yeah, well, my hair went much earlier than that when I was starting on the Bond. Well, I was 35 on the Bond, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. It's not that important, really. I think the really stupid thing is to see somebody who's got a wisp of hair that's 8 feet long that he's coiled around and he's kind of nailed it to the back of his head, and it looks like, a snake that's about to take off. I don't understand the point of it. And then when the wind blows, they're cut it short.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.